think we're good now. Good morning. Hi, everybody. Let's make sure the microphone is on. Yeah, we're good. Please let me know if you can hear me. Good morning. Hello. Good day. Good whatever time of day it is. Couple of things that I wanted to mention this morning. Some kind of feedback or responses from the comments that we got over the last 24 hours. So one question that I received is when we do chair pose, which is this squatting pose, we usually have the arms up, but sometimes we have them forward. When we do chair pose, what if there's pain in the low back? What should we do? So generally, when we have pain in the low back in that posture, it's because we are inadvertently overarching in this area. And that tends to happen. There's kind of different levels of this, so just stay with me for a minute. So that tends to happen if we're not engaging the abdominal muscles enough and we're accidentally overarching. I've worked so much on not overarching that now it's hard for me to demonstrate how to overarch. But I'm talking about too much bending happening in this area. So if we engage the abs, it stabilizes this whole region of your body so that that area won't overarch. So you can probably see the difference between this. Here I have my abs engaged, and you see how my back looks. And then if I don't engage my abs, you can see that automatically, more arch happens in this region of my body. So that's one thing. So that's one way that you can work on, trying to eliminate pain if you're experiencing it when you're in that posture. Another thing is that we can think about what the tailbone is doing. So let me turn a little bit more. If we think about sticking the tailbone back and we're trying to stand upright, that also causes overarching in this region of the body. So we can think about trying to keep the tailbone kind of more or less pointed downward. Sometimes, and you'll hear some yoga teachers talking about tucking the tailbone, and we want to be careful about thinking in terms of that cue or that language, because sometimes we take the tucking too far. Let me turn this down just a tiny bit. Okay, so sometimes, like here is coming down with the tailbone not tucked to the back, but just kind of neutral. And then sometimes if we think about the cue or we hear the cue to tuck the tailbone, we end up this way, and we don't want to go that far. We want to stay more in this neutral region. So tailbone in a neutral region, not pointing back, and abs engaged to help lengthen and stabilize this region of the body. All right, hopefully that's helpful for the person who asked and for anyone else who's experiencing the same thing. All right, hello, we've got some people on. And then there was one other thing that I wanted to address, and I'm going to address it even from a different angle tomorrow, but for today, I wanted to also mention that I had one comment about props and the use of props, and specifically blocks. So for people who have less mobility or their body proportions are just such that when they fold forward, the hands don't reach the floor, you can certainly use blocks to rest your hands on. I did a video that I think is called something like Getting Started with Yoga. I have to find it, but it's kind of a recent one. And in that video, I explain about all the different props and how to use them. So if you feel that you'd like to experiment with using props in your yoga practice to help the practice feel more comfortable and be more effective, you can certainly check that out. I will link that video in the description of this live after the live is done. And today I'm going to run over to the yoga studio and I'll pick up some props. That way I have them for class, for our class that we do tomorrow, and I can show a little bit about how we use them throughout the practice. Okay, shall we get started? That's the news of the day. Let's get some water. Alrighty, here we go. So yeah, today is day 14. Yesterday I had a typo in the title of the of the description title of the video, I guess. And I had inadvertently written that yesterday was day 14, but I corrected it, and today is really day 14. And the time is flying. I'm starting to hear from people in the comments that you two are getting really, we say, like, rooted in the practice of, or in the habit of practicing every day. And so that's exciting, because that was the whole point of doing this. Yay, that was my objective for me and for you, to get into the habit of regular practice. Okie doke. Now let's get started with our practice for today. Let me adjust this a tiny bit. Okay, here we go. Can you see me? Yes? Okay, awesome. This morning I woke up feeling kind of stiff in my low back and in the neck and the shoulders. So some things for, to work on that are definitely going to creep into our practice this morning. Set your feet up, comfortable standing position. Arms are down alongside you. Start to pay attention to your breathing. Use this time of attention on breathing to help your awareness arrive here with you for your practice, so you can be really mindful, really focused, present in your practice today. If you happen to be watching and participating in our class today, day 14, I would really encourage you to also go back and start at day 1, because the instruction builds as we go. At this stage, I am talking less so that you can practice more guiding yourself, and that may not be super comfortable for people who are just getting started. All right, let's start some moving. I'm going to do something a little different today. Keep things interesting. On an inhale, bring your left arm out toward the side and up. Exhale, bring your left arm out toward the side and down. Now the right side. Inhale, arm moves out and up. Exhale, out and down. Inhale, out and up on the left side. Exhale, out and down. Now the right side. Inhale. Exhale. Please keep alternating. We'll do 2 more rounds. Okay, rest your arms for just a minute, and then we'll start moving both arms at the same time. I'm going to turn this a tiny bit. You can begin when you're ready. On an inhale, bring both arms out toward the sides and up. Exhale, out toward the sides and down. Inhale, arms move out and up. Exhale, out and down. 2 more. Inhale, abs are engaged, belly button is drawing in. Exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. All right. Bring your shoulders up toward your ears and back and down and up and back and down. Up, back, down, up, back, and down. All right, shake your shoulders out a little bit, and then step your feet to about a little bit wider than hip width apart. So not like very wide, but a little bit wide. Okay, then inhale here and lengthen your spine. Exhale, Side bend left. Inhale, up to the center. Exhale, side bend right. Inhale to the center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Keep going these 2 more rounds. Alrighty, when you're finished, we're gonna get ready for forward folding. So set your feet up with a little bit of width between them. Inhale, bring your arms forward and up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Stay here for an inhale. Stay here for an exhale. Then inhale, walk your way up. Exhale, shoulders relax down. So remember, please, that when we're folding, we're bending the knees so that we can better activate the hamstring, the muscle in the back of your thigh, and the glutes. So we're trying to use these big muscles to support us on the way down and on the way up. Okay, here we go again. Inhale, arms forward and up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Try to activate those muscles. Stay for an inhale. Stay for an exhale. Then inhale, strengthen your legs to come up. Exhale, shoulders relax down. 2 more, please, at your pace. Okay, very good. When you're finished, shake yourself out a little bit. All right, shift over onto your left foot. And we're going to work on some balancing. So in tree pose, the idea is to mostly stand on one foot. But if you have a lot of issues with balance, it's very challenging for you. You can even bring your bent leg, your foot out a little bit so that your foundation is wider and it's a little bit more stable and easier to balance. So you can go in a wide position, or foot to ankle, or foot to inner calf, or if you're feeling amazing this morning and it's comfortable for you, you could even bring your foot to your inner thigh. Any of those are fine. The only thing you want to make sure to avoid is please don't press on the side of your knee because we don't want to injure your knee. Okay, so find the version that's best for you. Find a spot on the floor quite a bit in front of you to use as a focus spot. So an actual something that you can look at and keep focused on, and that's going to help you with your balance. Okay, let's now move. Inhale, arms move out and up. Exhale, arms move out and down. Inhale, up. Keep your standing legs strong. Your abs are engaged. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to do 2 more. Go at your pace. And please remember that we practice with ahimsa. We practice with kindness. So if this or any other posture is not being kind to your body, then just skip it, or you can change it and do something else. Okay, when you're finished with that, shake your legs out, switch over onto the other foot, and decide how you want to position your bent leg in this posture, wide or ankle or calf or maybe inner thigh. And then once you sort that out, find your focus point. Strengthen your standing leg all the way up to your waist. Another tip here is we know that the standing leg is activated when this hip draws in. So here's my relaxed leg, my hip is here. And then when I activate the muscles, you can see the hip draws in. So you're aligned over your foundation. All right, so now that you've got that all sorted out, let's begin to move. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, out and down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Try to make your breath and your movement long. One more. Okay, go ahead and step your foot down, shake your legs out. And then let's go to a wide-legged forward fold. So step your feet wide. Toes are more or less pointing forward, but if your knees are not comfortable, feel free to adjust your feet position. Okay, inhale, bring your arms forward and up. All your fingers are glued together, your arms are strong. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Once again, you're trying to use those muscles in the backs of your legs. Stay for an inhale. Stay for an exhale. Then inhale, walk your hands up. Exhale, shoulders relax down. Inhale, arms move forward and up. All the fingers are together. Exhale and fold. Hands can rest on the floor or your legs or a prop like a block. You're staying here for one whole breath. And then next inhale, walk your way up. Exhale, shoulders relax. Last one like this. Inhale. Exhale, knees bend and fold. Staying for one inhale and exhale. Then inhale, walk your way up. Exhale, shoulders relax down. Please go ahead and take a break and step your feet together. And I'm going to show you something so that you can actually see it and then you can practice it together with me. So we're going to do forward fold and add side to side lunging. And if you're forward folding, you won't be able to see me. So that's why I'm asking you to just watch this round. So you'll do inhale, and then you're going to do exhale, just like you've been doing. Then we're going to add a lunge. So you may feel that it's necessary to take your feet wider, and that's perfectly fine. You're going to bend one knee and shift your weight over toward that side. And you'll probably, most likely, feel a lot of stretching in the opposite side, inner thigh. And then you'll come back to the center and lunge over toward the other side. And you'll keep lunging side to side. So a couple of kind of key points here is that when you lunge, please don't lunge so far that your knee goes out in that direction. It's quite destabilizing, and you could possibly hurt your knee in that way. And then I guess one other point is that, I'm demonstrating with my hands on the floor because that is comfortable for my body. But if your body doesn't like it, you could use props or like a small box or a little stack of books if you want, and rest your hands on those, or even keep your hands on your legs. Anywhere on the legs is fine. All right, so let's try it. Go ahead and step your feet wide. Then inhale, arms move forward and up. Exhale, bend your knees, fold, legs are strong. Rest your hands down someplace. Adjust your stance, knowing that you're about to bend one knee. And then bend your left knee, shift over toward that side. Inhale, move to the center. Exhale, toward your right side. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center one more round toward the left. And the center. And to the right. And the center. Okay. On an inhale, bend your knees. Walk your hands up. Come on back up to standing upright. And step your feet together. Okay. Now, let's work on that chair pose that we talked about earlier. And you'll remember, we want to keep the abs engaged and the tailbone in a neutral position, being careful that we're not pointing it toward the back. Okay, here we go. On an inhale, arms move forward and up, either to chest height or all the way up. All the way up is a bit more intense. Then go ahead and squat. You're bending your knees, engaging your abs. Your chest is lifted and you're looking forward. Then inhale, strong legs to come up. Exhale, just your arms forward and down. Great, let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale and squat. Inhale, strong legs to come up. Exhale, arms forward and down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, please do 2 more if you're up for it. Very nice work. When you're done, please take a little rest. Find your breathing. Grab you a sip of water if you need it. Okay. All right, let's continue. So yesterday we worked on the combination of twist triangle and side bend triangle. And so we're going to work on that again today. Scoot over so I don't hit my plant. All right, so step your feet wide. On an inhale, stretch your arms out. Exhale, right hand comes across to the left side of your body for a twist. Inhale, arms stretch out. Exhale, left hand comes across to your right side for a twist. Inhale, come back up to the center, arms stretch out. Exhale, left side bend. If it's comfortable, you can look up toward your right palm. Inhale to the center. Exhale, right side bend. Inhale to the center. Exhale, arms rest down. Here we go again. Inhale, arms stretch out. Exhale, right hand to left side, twist. Inhale, come up. Arms stretch out. Exhale, left hand across to your right side, twist. Inhale, come up. Arms stretch out. Exhale, left side bend. Inhale to the center. Exhale, right side bend. Inhale to the center. Exhale, arms rest down. Okay, I'm going to cue one more. Please pay attention to the sequence because after that you're going to go at your pace. Inhale, arms stretch out. Exhale, right hand across to your left side. Twist. Inhale, arms stretch out. Exhale, left hand across to your right side. Twist. Inhale, up to the center. Exhale, left side bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, right side bend. Inhale to the center. Exhale, arms rest down. Okay, so we're going to do up to 3 at your own pace. If 3 is too many, do 1 or do 2. Now let's get started. Please remember to pace your breath and movements for mindfulness. You can try to coordinate the start and stop of your inhales and exhales with the start and the stop of the movement. In other words, the movement is the same length as the length of the breath. Okay, whenever you finish, go ahead and step your feet together. Let me just check how we're doing on time so I don't keep you for like 2 hours. Okay, we're doing fine. Okay, today we're going to work on something new. We maybe have done this once before early on in the series, but we definitely haven't done it in a long time. And this sequence is a little bit different and a little bit intense. So maybe you would want to watch the first round. In fact, yeah, let me explain it first and then we'll do it. So this is a sequence that we do first on one side of the body and then on the other side of the body. And it's similar to triangle, but a little bit different. This is called side angle pose. So what you're going to do is start by having your feet wide, toes more or less pointing front. And then you're going to turn your left toes out toward the side. Then on inhale, you're going to bring your arms up to shoulder height. On exhale, you're going to bend your front knee over the ankle, so that's your left knee. And at the same time, you're going to tilt. And so there's different ways you can tilt. You might bring your hand onto your knee and extend your arm alongside your ear. Or you may choose to bring your elbow down onto your knee, and again, the arm by the ear. Or if you're very flexible and strong, more flexible and strong than I am, you might bring your hand all the way to the floor on the inside of your foot. And again, the arm will be alongside your ear. So you have 3 options there. Please pick the one that works for you. And then to come out of that, you're going to inhale, come back up to the center, exhale, arms rest down. Then we're going to turn the feet around and do the same thing on the other side. So please go gently, especially those of you who have mentioned to me that you have back pain. Definitely want to do a gentle version of this where the hand is on the leg definitely want to activate the abdominal muscles to help stabilize your back. Okay, let's get started. So step your feet wide. Wow, doing even just one round of that made me warmer. So heads up, you're about to get warm. Turn your left toes out toward the side. Then inhale, arms come up to shoulder height. Exhale, side bend. You're bending the knee, either the hand or the elbow comes onto the knee, or maybe even the fingers come to the floor. Inhale, come back up, arms stretch out. Exhale, arms rest down. Now turn your feet around. Right toes point out. Inhale, arms stretch out. Exhale, bend the right knee, side bend. Inhale, arms stretch out. Exhale, arms rest down. Perfect. Turn your feet around. Inhale, arms extend out. Exhale, bend your knee, side bend. You're turning your palm so that it's facing downward. Arms right next to your ear. Inhale, come up, arms stretch out. Exhale, arms rest down. Turn your feet over toward the right. Inhale, exhale, side bend. Inhale, legs are strong. And exhale, turn your feet toward the left. Inhale, exhale, side bend, palm faces down. Inhale and exhale. Turn your feet over toward the right. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Shall we do one more round or take a break? Feet turn left. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Turn the feet, second side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Very good work. Turn your toes pointing forward, then step your feet together. Whew. Okay, shall we do one more round of forward folding? This time we're going to do forward fold with spine extension. When you're ready, inhale, arms move forward and up. All your fingers are glued together, palms face front. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, come halfway up, hands are above your knees. Extend your spine, tuck your chin slightly toward your chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, either walk your hands up your legs or extend them forward and up. Exhale, just your arms forward and down. Good. Let's do 3 more. Remember, please, to keep a balance of strength and flexibility in your postures. Coordinate your breath and movement to keep your mind engaged. Okay, wonderful. When you're finished, go ahead and move to lying down on your mat or on your floor, whatever suits you. Okay. Okay, in your lying down position, you can, let's see, are we focusing? All right, let's just check on this. So in your lying down position, you can bend your knees or straighten your legs. You can, please do stretch your arms out toward the sides. And we'll be right here for 4 long and smooth breaths. If you want to, you can count those 4 breaths on your fingers so that you don't lose track. Begin when you're ready. Okay, when you finish those 4 breaths, step your feet just a tiny bit wide and rock a little bit side to side. And mainly what you're doing here is just rocking across the back of your pelvis. Notice if you have any tightness in this region, any sensitive spots, anything like that. Okay, then, let's do something new and different today. So bring your knees up toward your chest or toward your shoulders. Rock around if needed to make your body comfortable. Then we're going to work on a sequence called Apanasana. And I teach it in a different way. So in this tradition that I practice, the Krishnamacharya tradition, this Apanasana is taught in a specific way, which is different to how I've seen it taught before, at least in the US. So what we're going to do, we're going to use this Apanasana for the purpose of core strengthening and strengthening the muscles in the front of your hips. So you're going to be moving your knees away from your abdomen and toward your abdomen under the strength of the abs and the hip flexors rather than under the strength of the arms. And it's a little bit tricky, or visually looks tricky, because the hands are on the legs. But the reason they're here is so that when your knees move away, you know how far to go, and then you're just going to come on back in. But the hands are passive here. They're just here as a measure of how far to move. Okay, so knees are hugged in toward your chest or your shoulders. Engage your abs. Inhale with control. Start to move your knees away from your abdomen. And then exhale with control. Draw the knees toward the abdomen. Inhale, knees move away. Exhale, toward. Inhale, away. Exhale, toward. Inhale, the arms are passive. Exhale, you may really feel your ab muscles working. We're going to do one more. Inhale and exhale. Good. And then go ahead and set your feet down and relax your abs. And once again, rock a little bit side to side just for the purpose of relaxation. Okay, we're going to try another thing that's new today. So set your feet up about the same width as your hips. Then on an inhale, slowly slide your left heel out to extend your leg. And then exhale, slide the heel back into its starting place. So all of this with control. We're using the abdominal muscles. Inhale on the right side. Extend. And And exhale, bring the foot back in. Try to keep your pelvis level and steady. Inhale, extend on the left. Exhale, draw the left in. Inhale, extend the right. Abs are strong. Exhale, draw the leg in. Please keep going. We're going to do 2 more rounds, alternating sides. When you finish, again, rock a bit side to side, relax your abdominal muscles. All right, let's layer on one more abdominal strengthening series, the same one we did yesterday. And this is the one where we're going to bring the knees up. And this is the kind of foundation version. If you want a little bit gentler, you can bring one knee up at a time and alternate sides. And if you want more intensity and your body's ready for more intensity, you can also lift the legs up from a straight position. All right, let's do it. So find your starting place, whatever that looks like. Your arms are down alongside your body. Shoulders are relaxed down. Your chin is slightly tucked toward your chest. Then inhale, bring your arms up and back. Exhale, bring your legs or one leg up while the arms go down. Inhale, feet come down while the arms go back. And exhale, just your arms go down. You could also do this without arms for a little bit less intensity. Inhale, arms move up and back. Exhale, legs come up while arms come down. Inhale, feet down, arms back. Exhale, just your arms go down. Inhale, arms go back. Exhale, legs or left leg up, arms down. Inhale, feet down, arms back. Exhale, just your arms go down. Inhale smoothly, arms go back. Exhale, legs or right leg up and arms down. Inhale, feet down, arms back. They're trying to land at the same time. Exhale, just your arms go down. We've completed 2 rounds. Please do 2 more at your pace. I guess you might say we had completed 4 rounds if you're working both legs at the same time. So now we're completing 2 or 4, depending on how you're counting. And of course, please take a break if you need to. Okie doke. Whenever you finish, bend your knees, rock your knees from side to side. I'll tell you, I was, for many years, I was not enthusiastic about core strengthening because I was under the impression that core strengthening was for cosmetic purposes. It was for getting a 6-pack, and I had no interest in that. But then, after some time, I realized that core strength is really important to stabilize our bodies so that we can move around and do our daily activities pain-free. So, the body is strong enough to be able to do the activities of the day. So now I'm a little bit more into core strengthening for functional purposes. Okay, we've done a lot of core strengthening today. We're going to stretch out the body a little bit to balance all that strength work that we did. So please roll over onto your left side. And we're going to try a couple of things. So the first thing is, let's see. Okay, let's do this. Bend your top knee. So this is going to be your right knee. You can use your left arm as a pillow if you want to, but you're going to bend your right knee and then reach back and take a hold of either the leg of your leggings if you're wearing them, or long pants or whatever, or you can take a hold of your foot. Or if you cannot reach either of those, you might use a strap or a towel wrapped around like a lasso around your foot and hold on to it. And what we're trying to work on is stretching out this muscle in the front of the thigh. So you can bring your knee back a little bit. Please do try to keep your hips stacked. So rather than letting your top hip roll towards the back, you're trying to keep it right on top of the bottom hip. We'll stay right here for just a little bit. And breathe, of course. Okay, and then go ahead and release that. And next, bring both knees in front of you. We've done this twist before. Both arms are extended in front of you. Then, on an inhale, bring your right arm up toward the ceiling and back. Whew. Okay, that's a lot. If it happens to be too much for you today, please feel free to back off. One option is to bring your fingertips right up onto your front of your shoulder. This is the right arm I'm talking about. Or, gentler still, you can rest your right arm down alongside your body, hands on your hip. Okay, so any of those three versions is perfectly fine. What we're trying to do is twist in the spine and maybe bring the right shoulder closer toward the floor. You may feel stretching in all different parts here, maybe in your right hip, maybe in your chest, maybe in your back. For the moment, let your face upward toward the ceiling. But if you find that's not comfortable, you could even turn toward the left side. Okay, please take a break from this. So bring your right arm around in front of you. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to the other side. So slowly roll over onto your right. We're going to do 2 rounds, just a heads up. So you're rolling onto your right side. You can use your right arm as a pillow if you want. Bend your left knee. Take a hold of something back here so that you're securing your foot. And then we'll stretch out the muscle in the front of the left thigh. You can think about stacking your hips, please, and maybe drawing your knee toward the back. And you'll notice that it's most effective if you keep your knee at about the same height as your hip. Sometimes we have a tendency to lift the knee up, and it's less effective. All right. When you're ready, go ahead and release that. You're going to bend both knees and bring them in front of you. Both arms are in front of you. Then left arm moves up toward the ceiling and back. All right. Find your version, any of those 3 that we had talked about. And then stay and breathe as long as you're comfortable. Okay. When you're ready, bring this arm around in front of you and then slowly roll onto your back. And we're going to do a second round of twisting, which might, depending on your body, be the same as the first round, or you might do it a little bit differently if you're comfortable with a little more intensity. So you're going to bend your knees and bring them in front. Arms are in front. And you can go into the twist exactly as we did before if you're ready to do that. If you want to try the thing that's a little more intense, what you're going to do is extend your top leg forward. When you do that, you might end up with one thigh right on top of the other, which sometimes is not comfortable. In that case, you can kind of straighten the bottom leg a little bit so that it gets out of the way. Then, with your legs in this position, we're going to add the twist. So the right arm goes up toward the ceiling and back. And just kind of take your time settling into this because it's definitely more challenging. You can close your eyes if you want to and breathe. Stay about 3 breaths. All right, when you're ready, begin to untwist. All right, reorganize your legs if needed, and then roll around onto your right side one more time. And go ahead and set up and move into your version of this twist. Just a little guidance if you need it, because we've only done it once. You're straightening the top leg if you want to do this version. Maybe getting the bottom leg out of your way by extending it downward a bit. And then bringing the left arm up toward the ceiling and back. Wow. All right. And we'll stay right here and breathe for 3 breaths. Okay, when you're ready, left arm comes around in front, then roll onto your back. Let's do a little breathing here. So let's see what we can do today. Stretch your arms out toward the sides, and either you can keep your knees bent or you can extend your legs, whatever your body prefers. And today we're going to combine some breathing techniques together. So start please by counting the length of your inhale, just a slow count. And then count the length of your exhale as well. And then count for 2 more rounds just to make sure that you have a good number that's representative of your breathing. Maybe 2 different numbers, the inhale number and the exhale number. Okay, so now that you've established your breathing ratio, if you will, the length of the inhale as compared to the length of the exhale. And by the way, it's perfectly fine if the numbers are equal, and it's also fine if if the exhale is longer than the inhale. But we don't want the inhale to be longer than the exhale. So if you happen to notice that was the case, try to even it out so that inhale and exhale are the same. Okay, so now that you have that, we're going to use the Niyasam technique, counting the quantity of breath on the fingers. So index finger for the first inhale and exhale, middle finger for the second, third finger for the third, and so on. And we're going to do a total of 8 breaths, so quantity of 8 breaths. Each breath is the ratio that you have determined, the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale. All right. So when you're ready, go ahead and begin and get started. Your thumbs are touching the tips of your index fingers, and you're inhaling for your duration of inhale. Then exhale to your duration. And then move the tips of the thumbs to the tips of the middle fingers to continue. If you happen to find that the numbers that you counted, your durations, are not correct and you need to make an adjustment, please feel free to do that. Whenever you finish, please breathe naturally. Slowly roll your head from side to side. Okay, settle your head back to the center. And then take your time, roll to one side. Come on up to sitting. Very good job. Nice work getting through another practice, day 14 of practice. Thank you for being here today, sharing yourself and your practice. Please have a great day. Good work, everybody. Whew. All right. Let me know, please, if you have any questions or comments. I'm just going to sit up and get my chair so that I can see what anyone might be writing. All right, y'all feeling all right? Oh, my glasses are not here. I feel all kinds of stretched out. Oh, I feel awake and alive now. All right, hopefully y'all are feeling well too. Maybe you're taking a minute getting up. I didn't want to get up this morning, but glad I did. Yay, very good. Side angle pose and the core work. Yeah, wonderful. Me too. The other day when we did side angle pose, the next day I felt a tiny bit of soreness in that spot that's like right at the bottom of your bottom, like where the glutes and the hamstrings intersect. And I was like, oh, that's a good way to work on those muscles there. The stretches were rough. Which ones, Nicole? Was it those there at the end? Yay, good. Okay, well, good. Nicole says it's a good practice, even if the stretches were rough. So yay. Yeah, we're getting a little bit stronger, adding some strong elements every day, trying out some new things. And, by the end of this, you may say, oh, I really liked the class on day 12, but day 14 wasn't my favorite or something like that. And you can just kind of mark those down and come back and practice them whenever you want to. Let's see, today's was very relaxing, slight difficulties during the one leg balance. Extending the legs. Okay, all right, great. You're most welcome, April. Yay, very good. Yay, Chrissy's getting some functional benefits from the yoga practice. Awesome. All right, does anybody have any questions today? I think it was pretty straightforward. I did take some time to explain things here and there, and hopefully that wasn't too disruptive, but I feel that it's important. It's important for folks to understand why they're doing what they're doing. That way, I feel you can get more benefit from it. So hopefully all of that time was well invested. All right. Hello, Mary. You're most welcome. Y'all gonna do anything fun today? I think that I might try to get my family awake and throw them in the car so we can go for a hike before it gets too hot. We've been having exceptionally hot temperatures here, and it's not nice to go out during the day, so going out early is a good choice. Let's see. I didn't feel as unmotivated as usual. Okay, wonderful. Very good. Yeah. Good. Preparing for church. Yeah. Yes, it's Sunday. It's church day. Very good. All right. Well, y'all have a very nice day today. If you watch this later, please feel free to put some information in the comments, either feedback or questions or anything like that. Ooh, watercoloring. That sounds nice. Yeah. Triangle, bend from the side, twist triangle, bend from the waist. Yeah, when we do the twist, the triangle twisting version, it is necessary to bend from the waist. So it's kind of a tricky movement because we're twisting and forward folding at the same time in order to accomplish the position. So that's actually correct. You're doing it in the right way, Mish. Yeah, and the side triangle, if we have a lot of tightness in the sides of the body, it can definitely feel like we're not going very far, but it's okay. Just keep going. This will slowly start to loosen up a bit, and then your side bending will become bigger. Yeah, it's getting colder now in the UK. Yeah. In the hips. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, bending from the hips, totally fine. Totally fine. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Just to kind of elaborate on this, because I know this is a tricky posture and other people may have a question too. All right, I'm just retucking in this microphone cable. When we're working on, and if you need to go, and if you are not interested in more information about triangle, please feel free to go. Let me just make sure I'm understanding the question. Bend from the waist on the twist and bend from the hips. Yeah, okay, so let me just kind of explain about both. This is a good point to discuss. Okay, so when we're working on triangle, side bend, we're side bending from this region of the body. In fact, the whole spine can be bending toward the side. That's the healthiest way to do it, so we're not putting too much strain in the lumbar spine. So it's perfectly fine. Little bit of bending from like the hips and waist region and all the way up the spine in order to make this side bend version of twist. And I'm going to turn this way to show you when we do the twist version of triangle, we are twisting, of course, but it's also necessary to fold forward a little bit in order to twist this way. And if you happen to be coming farther down, like, to the lower leg or to the floor, you can see that definitely I'm forward folding from this region and twisting at the same time. So both are necessary for doing the twist version of triangle, twisting and forward folding at the same time. Whereas in the side bend version, we're side bending from basically the whole spine, lumbar spine all the way up. Yeah, I had some tightness in my abs and low sternum. Yeah, isn't that fascinating? I always find it fascinating when I'm tight in those regions. And you can really feel it when you stretch your arms up. I've mentioned maybe once or twice that when we bring the arms above the head, this has a back bend effect for the body and it stretches out the front of the body. So yeah, we can definitely stretch that out in that way. And, we want the muscles throughout the body to be both strong and flexible. I know I keep saying that over and over, but just to reemphasize and explain in different ways. In order to have your body functioning in an optimal way, the muscles shouldn't be tight. Like if they're tight, it's typically an indication that something's not working right. Like one muscle's not working in the correct way, so another muscle's compensating by tightening up. So, in the yoga practice, I keep emphasizing and we keep working on strength and flexibility and more strength and flexibility so that we can try to get all the muscles working in the right way so that the body is very efficient in its work. So just keep going, be patient, just make sure that you're practicing in a way that's not hurting you. And yeah, and everything will be all right. All right, good. All right, well, I will let you all go. Please have a great day, and I will see you again tomorrow for day 15. All right, have a good one. Bye, everybody.